Okay, so I've been told that I should actually check out Blue Squadrons first. The man, the legend, Blue Squadron, has been playing some Chrono Odyssey as well. Fellow BDO player, streamer. And we're gonna check out the stuff here. Blue got a chance to actually play it, so let's see what he has to say.
All right, what is up, guys? The gig is up. I got to play Chrono Odyssey in an exclusive beta test before basically the rest of the world got to play it. So I'm gonna give my thoughts. I tried.
Must be nice, must be nice.
Literally every single system in the closed beta that they had available to us. I did tons of questing. I did the PvE, the PvP, the solo dungeons, bounties, gathering, cooking, crafting, all of it, guys. So make sure that you stay tuned on the channel. I'm gonna have a lot of videos coming out in the next few days, basically explaining those systems and what I thought of those systems and how they work, so that you guys are ready for the beta on the 20th. I will also have a choose your class guide video, so that you know a little bit more about the classes, but we're going to talk about
two-handed sword, human warrior, human male warrior. Come on, like what do you mean choose your class guide?
About that here in a second. This video is going to focus more on my initial thoughts of the game and kind of like the overarching, like, hey, here's the TLDR of all of those videos. And if you feel like you want to explore any of these systems further, there will be a video pertaining to that in the near future being released on my channel. Okay, so initial thoughts on character select and classes. Only 3 of
I like this. Like this feels good. Like good old. This reminds me of Diablo 2. Like standing around the campfire. I like that kind of
available in
starting
the closed beta.
Is that a circuit just sipping tea? Okay,
this
W.
time. So there is the swordsman, the ranger, and the berserker available.
Ooh, what a shot.
The other 3 classes that will be available on launch are the paladin, the sorceress, and the assassin. And we will get into those a little bit later.
Okay, what's this here? Like I might try to play a Sorg like mage, you know, like try something new, you know, maybe. So staff, mana sphere, and a book. Okay, so that tells me nothing.
As well, I'm gonna probably be maining paladin when it comes out, so just be ready for that one. But the 3 classes that you're able to choose from, swordsman's kind of like the warrior from BDO, and the standard hack and slash, like all around.
Two-handed weapon, that's
overall. It's got the great sword, the sword and shield, and the dual blades. Pretty cool. But I didn't choose that one. The ranger's got the bow, the crossbow, and I think the rapier as well, because I played about an hour or 2 on at least every single class to make sure that I understood how they played, what their skills looked like, etc. But I ended up choosing the berserker, mainly because they've got the chain blades, the twin axes, and the battle axe, and I thought that was pretty cool.
We got something for you too, Oscar. Also, there's some a PvP game mode where you can kill players and take their loot, like take their gear. It's probably going to be similar to a Shadow Arena, right? I don't think you do this with your full character. My guess is going to be something that's like you start with basically nothing, like Dark Dagger type game mode, where you go in, you like go deep, like deeper layers. It becomes harder. You get like loot and drops, and but then if you kill other players, you can take that gear.
Just so you're aware, guys, the classes are not gender locked, not at all gender locked.
What? Wait, huh? For reals? Wait, is this a Korean MMO without gender lock? No way.
And when you go into character customization, they're gonna have like a preset available for you, so you can pick kind of like the close-ish face.
I don't even know if he was just being like Mimi saying that. There's no way, right?
The classes are not gender locked, not at all gender locked. And when you go into character customization, they're gonna have like a preset available for you, so you can pick kind of like the close-ish face to what you want. But never fear, there's a ton of customization, like rivaling Black Desert Online levels of customization that you can do.
Looks great.
I did not spend a crazy amount of time on this, but like I can see people getting lost in the customization screen menus of this game. It does not leave you wanting. You can literally move just about everything. And for those wondering, yes, there is a boob slider. There is in fact a tab named.
He reached my mind.
Breasts, and there are 3 sliders, not 1 boob slider, not 2 boob sliders, but 3 booba sliders. in the game. There's also a butt slider as well, and a cock slider for those of us who might be either Gage or maybe...
Whoa, wait, there's a bolt as well. There's a bolt slider? Oh my god. I'm gonna have them all maxed.
Bulging a little bit in the front. So, hey, you know, it is... Finally giving the players what they want. Is what it is. So definitely super base Korean devs as usual. I chose a female berserker and I had no regrets. I had a lot of fun with it. Now when you spawn into the game and you get into this, I want to explain this as kind of a the atmosphere of this game is kind of like Alien Prometheus.
Yeah, that's what we were saying as well, right? It has this yeah, like the alien vibe, right? It's really cool seeing that tied into like your medieval dark fantasy game. Like that's like it's so cool. I'm really excited to like the world and everything. To me, the only thing I need to know is like, is it fun to play? Is it good to play? Is it gameplay loop? How's the combat? Like the actual playing of the game now. Everything else is great.
Like if you're a fan of like Alien versus Predator, just like Alien franchise, there's elements of this in the world basically everywhere. It is scary. The world is dark, it is gloomy, and you are like you're like him, capital H, Himothy, walking through trying to defeat these epic monsters and stuff, which is literally insane. But the world is really scary, it's dark, and so it's Dark Souls themed alongside Alien is the best way that I can kind of express
just
it.
Look
if
at this,
you love
man.
Dark Souls, you're gonna love this.
The atmosphere is just fire.
Elden Ring, the MMO. Okay, the difficulty level.
Tryk speederen I bunden i et helt nyt mark.
What is it, man, with these ads? That's crazy.
Men så ringede de for at høre, om jeg vil køre rundt i hele.
I might have to get like no ad block. I mean, I don't have it on this account here, like this browser.
Og igen.
Right out the gate, you can and will die during the tutorial if you're not careful. The first boss is kind of a banger. The first boss can be a little bit difficult, especially if you're playing Berserker, is a little bit kind of a hard class. It is the hardest of the three, in my opinion, to pick up and play, but I'll get into that more in my class guide series. After you spawn in, you're thrown into the world and...
Wait, so that's a female Berserker, right? Like, you see the weapons? Okay, interesting handle on the weapons though, but again, like, base or whatever. I don't know, that feels like it's just a human female. Where's my big Berserker mama?
This is why I say it's a lot like Elden Ring. You spawn in and you essentially have these massive monsters all around you that you are not designed to kill early. Can you kill them?
XQC? Oh my god, dude.
Yes. If you're a god and an absolute Giga Chad, you could do it. But
ooh,
it's
this looks
like
good.
how Elden Ring places Tree Sentinel out in front to teach players that, like, hey, you don't necessarily need to like follow the main story progression of the game. You can go do basically whatever you want. Now, the starting area is going to try to keep you confined, but once they set you free, you can pretty much just do what you want in this game. It is a sandbox through and through, and I walked into a dragon just out of like render distance of like the main
and one shot, right?
Like anyone could have seen this. You walk up to it and it just, bro, it just destroyed me. Absolutely crazy. Rip. And one of the coolest things is it's also got elements of like Monster Hunter in here, where if you bait other creatures near these monsters, they will actually fight each other. They will engage in combat. There's an
oh, that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. Especially early on, like using the environment to take down stronger foes than you're supposed to. I think that's super dope. It's gonna be like that's stuff that adds to the experience of leveling up in the game. And I feel way too often games coming out have like you just leveling up, just get it over with. But like that should be part of the game. That should be part of the experience. That should be the fun. Like when I think back to original OG vanilla World of Warcraft, right? The leveling was like such a huge part. It took ages to get level 60. So like that's cool to know.
Ecosystem in this game, a lot like you see in Monster Hunter, but it's also got the feel of, like I said, Elden Ring, where these monsters out in the world are like, yeah, you're not necessarily intended to.
Isn't this the beach from New World? I mean, the game really looks a lot like New World. So yeah.
Fight them right now. You can come back when you're a lot stronger, and it's going to be a lot easier of a fight for you, or you can attempt it and try to be a super gamer. Either way, it's a lot of fun. The difficulty is extremely high, though. If you try to basically brute force your way through everything that you find, you're going to have a hard time with that. And I think that Dark Souls fans will really enjoy that overall.
Oh, we get like
as far as the
leveling up
main
and
story
weapons
goes,
stuff.
this is the most gripping main storyline I've probably actually encountered of the MMOs that I've played. Please bear in mind that my MMO experience involves Black Desert Online, Throne and Liberty, World of Warcraft Classic, Guild Wars 2. Okay, and of those, I did feel that the main story, at least in the early levels, was gripping and engaging enough that I found myself wanting more, wanting to see what happens next so that I can uncover the next mysteries of Saterra. Very, very cool. And I'll be honest with you, normally I don't care about the main story.
Well, he's played BDO, right? Fucking spammer. Like, this is what I want. This is why I think this game will do really well. Because it's a game where you're supposed to jump in and play the game and not, at least initially, worry about like the get to max level, gear up, because you gotta get ready for PvP. The game has some PvP stuff in it, but it's not the focus. And when you have a game like BDO or Throne and Liberty, right, where the focus of the game is on PvP, you erode the early game experience because the people that want a PvP will gonna be competitive. So all of this sitting here listening to dialogue, waste of time. Because like I gotta get max levels so I can get most gear and I can win in that PvP thing. So I think this is gonna be a huge positive long term for the game. Where, well, the leveling experience is important. You're not really rushing because, well, it's mainly PvE focused with PvP stuff in it as well. And you play the game, you get attached to the characters, you get attached to the story, and all of that, right? I think that's healthy. I think that's good. And if the story is then good on top of it, like hell yeah, just like treat it as a single player game in the beginning, play it, have some fun, treat it like an open world RPG, and eventually you get max level and then you start doing the end game stuff. That's also how I play BDO originally, right? And that's what made me fall in love with it. So I'm glad to see that's sort of the level. Yeah, we're in Villia. GM Villia is here.
MMORPG players do not care about the main story unless you're playing Final Fantasy, in which case that's
shared universe.
Primarily the reason you're playing the game, aside from the cat girls. Now,
but yeah, you can lock a stats by an 8 hours questing. Yeah, but the problem is still you can force people to do questing, right? Like they do in BDO for some, like it's so annoying when they do it, right? But then you're still speedrunning those quests because you want to get the stuff at the end so you can like get more powerful. Whereas especially like the early game experience, it's nice when the game facilitates that and makes you want to do it and don't make you feel like you're wasting time doing it because, oh, I gotta get to and do this afterwards, right?
As far as the NPCs go in the game,
I'll look into it, Frank.
super
I'll look into
engaging. Most of them are actually have personality. They are attractive in most cases as well. And they actually have a purpose. They're engaging. As far as the NPCs in town go, this is a critique that I'm going to give the game overall. I think
this looks
NPCs
straight.
In towns are
I've never played New World, but I watched streams and everything, and like some of the guildies play and all. This looks straight. This looks like New World.
Definitely a little bland.
And especially the towns, there's a lot of elements that seems to be. It probably is because they use the same resources or whatever, right? And on the engine, I believe New World is UI5 as well. Sorry, Unreal Engine 5, UE5. But like, there's other areas, right? When you're out and it's dark and all that, it looks like its own game. But this right here just looks like New World.
They're not walking around and doing stuff like we see in the world of Black Desert, for example, where you have all of the NPCs seem to be actively engaged.
Yeah, a lot of the systems similar to Legend.
Or talking with each other. You can hear commerce in the town and whatnot. Not in Chrono Odyssey. There's just not as much going on here. The NPCs aren't really talking to each other. They're not talking to you for the most part. They're not trying to get your attention. It's not like the Witcher 4 demo that we saw, let's just be honest, where the townsfolk interact with you as you run by, or you can see them actively engaging in something. I think that this is kind of an important part of MMOs in terms of immersion in order to get players invested in the...
Yeah, but this could also be like a beta thing, right? So it's still time. It's something. It's probably not the highest like order of business for making a beta playable and testable, right? So I do agree what he's saying, and I hope it's something they address. But Cope take is, well, it's still beta.
The atmosphere
So I would assume it's on the lower spectrum of things to work on before, like, with these playable modes.
Fear of what's going on around them and help them kind of immerse themselves in the world. So I think that that is a bit of a miss from Chrono Odyssey there. So that's the first con that I will go ahead and give the game. Now let's talk about the thing that everyone wants to know about, the combat. How is the combat in the game? Guys, it's S tier. This is very good combat, especially if you're a Dark Souls fan. It is Dark Souls combat meets you have more abilities than you would in Dark Souls. You have abilities and magic that you can use in addition to your normal just like dodge and then your attack roll that you've got. But like very Dark Souls style combat, which I think a lot of adventurers are going to be super excited about because like
you want a skill expression, and it's not BDO combat, we knew that, we could see that, right? But it's still like, it's action combat. And you feel like your decisions matter, your abilities matter, what you do matter. And I think that's important, and it doesn't have to be BDO combat, right? It, like, just having the combat be fun and impactful for the PvE, and the PvP looked fairly good as well, right? That's important, just needs to be fun.
It feels smooth, it feels clean, and overall, the skills do not get tiring. I used them hundreds, if not thousands of times, and continually was discovering new ways to combo and do various things. Just so that we're clear, you have 2 weapons equipped. There are 3 possible weapons on your class. You have 2 of them equipped at any given time. During combat, you will be switching between these weapons. So when you tap Q, you will switch between these weapons in the middle of combat, which is pretty cool. Want to use my because like, there's a nice animation for it. It feels pretty swift. I will say that there were a few times where I tapped Q and it switched to the other weapon and then switched back again, which was kind of frustrating. So maybe that's something that they could work on there. But overall, the weapon swapping felt very clean. Great. And it felt like I had to use both weapons basically every single time I engaged. You can't just stay on one weapon for the most part. I did in some of the bosses, I stayed with the twin axes because there was a lot more sustain in my twin axes and I was trying to cheese it a little bit because the bosses are hard, man. What do you want from me? But overall, I have nothing but good things to say about the combat. Is it as smooth as Black Desert Online? No, it is not. No. So aside from BDO and Lost Ark, specifically, I would say it sits just below those 2 games in terms of overall combat and immersion. And it's certainly better than any of the tab target MMOs that we see out there. It's better than ESO, which is an action combat, and the other action combat MMOs that we've seen in the genre. Very, very solid. There is some clunkiness to it. So the critiques to the combat I have are like the inertia that you feel when you start moving your character around. There's like that warm up feel. And I think that developers like to include this a lot in games, but it's garbage. Like players do not like this, especially in the MMO RPG environment. We do not like inertia. We want to just like in World of Warcraft, you just tap W and your character starts moving immediately. You jump, you spin. You want to be able to spin the character very quickly. You want to be able to move and jump.
It's this like the balance between realism and fun, and it's like, if you guys remember from BDO, you had this like stutter stepping on newer characters for a while because it was like more realistic when you moved to the side. And it just looked more realistic that it like took a proper like sidestep, but it sucks. Like, so you took like you stopped moving to the side and took like half a step further because it looked more like nobody cares. Stop doing that. Luckily they stopped doing it, and they also coded the movement on all these classes to be like just normal. You stop moving, well, you stop moving, right? Realism should never beat out enjoyment and fun playing the game. So all of these like, realistic movement stuff, cool if it looks good and everything, but do not do it at the cost of the gameplay. Gameplay first, always.
At the same time, which you can do in this game, but like it's not nearly as smooth as WoW, and it doesn't, there's like the inertia is blocking a lot of that smoothness early on in the combat. So it does feel a little bit slow and clunky early on. When you start to move, there's like kind of a small delay between when you actually press space and when the jump actually happens. There is a double jump in the game, but again, it's nowhere near as smooth as something like, I'm going to compare it to World of Warcraft Classic, where you tap space twice and boom, boom, your character's already in the air before you've even released the space bar. And that's just that's what you want to see in a game. And I hope that they fix that closer to long.
Instant, snappy reactions to key input.
launch. But as for the combat itself, once you've already engaged an enemy, you've kind of gotten past that initial inertia, it's actually a lot of fun. You also have like health potions in this game are very different than you might find in several other MMOs. It's a lot more like WoW, where you can only pop one health potion every minute. Okay, so like in order to pop it, you have to step away from combat, just like Dark Souls, and you have to like pop it like a flask. You're not going to be able to pop it right next.
I think that's good. It does give more impact also in your combat for your decisions for avoiding damage. And like the problem with having good sustain, you have a lot of heals and all that in your kit, so you're constantly healing up to full. It means you're never really in like a threat of dying unless there's one-shot mechanics, and that's just never as fun. It's like, at least I think it's more sure to be one-shot mechanics, but in general a fight is more fun when all small mistakes you made has like a compounding danger element to them. And this also goes like PvP. It means that you can grind people down, like the combat can change a bit, instead of being a case of you need to be able to one combo them or it's whatever, right? And then it's sort of like, oh, you get a CC, you win. So this year, like you have like more outplay elements to it as well, when you maybe don't insta die, right? But your health is managed, like it's a resource you have to manage as well. So to me, that's a good sign, and that can always change like over time. But initially, I think that's a great system.
To the boss, you'll just get turboed. So yeah, just something to bear in mind. Really, really cool and intense combat. I have nothing but good things really to say about it. It's certainly on,
damn, that's a big
on
boy.
par with what
Can you mount animals in this? Can I get that as a mount?
I think most adventurers are kind of looking for. It is easy enough. It is
Watermelon.
approachable
Okay,
enough
yeah.
that I think players will like it, and they will feel familiar with it because of if you're familiar with Dark Souls or even other.
Do we know if there's back attacks? Because like as a BDO player, my brain is always, why is he not going to the back and blasting his booty? Like you always want to get in the booty in BDO, right? So like, is there back attacks or like multipliers for say down attacks or whatnot in this game? Or do you just like face tank stuff?
Other action combat MMOs, it will be familiar in that regard, but it won't be too hard. Like Black Desert, for example, has a very difficult to approach combat system that almost has too much depth and is scary for people to kind of get into initially. So no worries really there. There are not key inputs, like you're not pressing Shift F into Shift E into SF. No, you are pressing 1, 2, 3, 4.
Ooh. Oh. Okay, yeah. I know like people been talking about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? Of course I've seen you guys type it and all. I thought that maybe that was just an option for Asmongold. I didn't know that was the default. Okay, that's disappointing, right? But I mean, yeah, okay, if like a bit of code, right? Sure. League of Legends, you place those keys as well. It's not a combo. That doesn't mean that the combat isn't in depth and everything. Yeah, like that's just less cool. But it, yeah. Again, like I've been saying this. This is not a game that replaces BDO, but different combats have different advantages. This is not like if I like the key inputs. I love it. But the combat is still probably really good and really fun for what it's good for, right? Yeah.
And then swapping weapons, and then you've got 1, 2, 3, 4 again on the other weapons. So you are going to have these things bound to your quick slots, and you're going to be using them based on your keyboard. But again, you're going to be dodging like you are in Dark Souls, constantly swapping weapons back and forth. I did not really feel initially. I was a little
So it's going to be more, I guess, and I guess it's like similar to say League of Legends, right? Where it's less about being mechanical with, of course, there is mechanics probably. There's probably going to be some combos. There's probably going to be some cancels you can do with different linkages. And I'm sure when you get further in, you can like upgrade abilities on your gear. I remember like reading about that, right? But it's more about using the right abilities at the right time than necessarily being mechanically gifted on structuring giga combos, right? Yeah.
Discouraged that there weren't combos like we see in BDO, but I'll be honest with you, it's better. It makes it more approachable. And again, the combat is dynamic enough that you really don't feel the difference almost at all. You can still get combat.
I understand what you're saying. I don't think it makes it better, but more approachable. Yeah, for sure. And that means it's better for a lot of people. Right? If more people can play it, it was one of the things that made World of Warcraft so great when it came out as an MMO. It was approachable. The barrier of entry was very low. Everyone could play it, right? So it doesn't mean that it's a better combat, right? But it means, well, if the combat is so good that you don't play it, then is it really that good? You know what I mean? If it's keeping people off of even trying it, then, well, for those people, it's a 0. So I do understand what he's saying, but yeah.
Combos off, and it feels very satisfying. Okay, so let's talk about, again, I already touched on this a little bit, the difficulty level of the world. You are going to find things that are extremely hard to kill. There's these big bosses just laying around, even in the starting zones of the world, that you're just gonna, and there's also just like normal mobs will just kill you.
Look at that big bold face.
You need to be on your guard at all points in time. This is a...
That's another thing I love in games. It's having these things, especially during your leveling experience, where you see something crazy and you're like, what is that thing? And you try and just get nuked to oblivion. And you're like, wait, how am I ever going to beat this? Is this like a raid boss or something? Is it like a big baddie you're gonna fight when you're max levels? Like, no, you were just like missing 20 levels, and then you go and you like fight it on your own. It's like, oh wait, and then another big boss just one-shots you, and you're like, oh, what's this? Like these things in the game, in the world you see that are out of reach, that seems crazy. And then you get more stronger, get more powerful over time, and you fight them, and like, oh, I remember this. This used to munch on me when I was leveling up. And then it turns out that's even like not even higher. Like that's something even bigger. He's like, crazy things to look forward to. Building the world around. I like that.
That you're just gonna, and there's also just like normal mobs will just kill you if you aren't gaming. You need to be on your guard at all points in time. This is a scary environment, and these Void are kind of like the aliens from Alien versus Predator, right? Or from the Alien franchise. They are not messing around.
Oh,
these things do a lot of damage. I fought a boss that is part of the main story that you fight at level 6. The dude 2-shot me. And to be clear, you can beat that boss. There are 2 different diverging storylines. You get rewarded for killing him. You don't have to necessarily, but you do get rewarded for killing him. So me being the classic, like, look, I've not played all like Dark Souls 2. I don't go. Dude, that
I'm gonna
back,
beat his thing off.
Elden Ring, and I fought Tree Sentinel for 9 hours. God is my witness, and then 2-shot Margot. Okay, so
yeah, the room. Look at this. Like this again. This is like this alien influence in a medieval dark fantasy. It's hitting something primordial inside of me.
Like, because fighting Tree Sentinel made me a god of playing the game. It was my first experience with Dark Souls, and then I was much better at fighting in the combat. In the rest of the game, I basically blew through a lot of the other bosses in the game because I was much better at that point. It's a lot like that in this game. I left that boss, went and did a bunch of gathering, crafted a bunch of new gear, came back to it, and then was able to beat it, and it still killed me once. Even when I was almost twice the level and had 2 times the gear score that I had the previous time upon meeting him in the main story. So the main story is going to be challenging. The open world is going to be challenging.
That's dope.
But don't fear. You can actually level up on basically anything in the world. You can go.
I do like these things where you get to a point in stories, because this is like one of the things I remember from Diablo 2 back in the day. Like you got to like Nightmare mode and Hell, and I sometimes had to go back in like an act and grind out some more gear, grind out a few more levels, and then I could continue further in the campaign, or whatever you want to call it, right? And I like that. Like sometimes you hit sort of a wall. Like okay, I was going too fast. Get back, level up a bit, work on some gear, and like you partake in the other stuff as well in the game to get stronger. And then you come back and like now you can fight. I'd love that, especially for a leveling experience. And if it's stuff like a boss, that's great, right? It's great. I don't want like a hard-coded thing. That's not fun. But like something like a boss where, okay, yeah, I'm not good enough. Well, let's get some more gear and then we can do it. Combat, that's what combat looks really fine. It's just, yeah, like it's obviously action combat, but like the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, Doesn't mean it's not good, doesn't mean it's not fun. Yeah.
Go out and kill mobs. You can gather, you can mine, you can cook, you can do alchemy, processing, crafting, anything that you want, and it will level you up at a solid pace. This isn't like other sandbox MMOs, and again, I will compare it to Black Desert in this case, where you do get EXP for gathering, but it's not very much. No. I leveled up like 4 times just by gathering on logs.
This is one of the things they talked about, right? That you can choose your own path. I love that. I do love that. As much as I love combat, I like crafting as well, and the gearing system. I'm sure he's going to talk about the gearing a lot. It looked like crafting was a viable progression in gearing as well. You can run 1, 2, 3, 4 2 keys. Yeah, I mean, I probably will, but it's going to be similar, right? It's I like the shift stuff and all that, but it's okay, right? I'm not opposed to this. I've been I play a lot of BDO, right? All that I love. It's my favorite combat system ever, but I don't think BDO combat is the best combat system for every type of MMO. There is pros and cons to all of it. It works the best for a game like BDO. But there are advantages to even tap target combat systems. 1, 2, 3, 4, and Blue touched on this as well, right? With getting access to it. There can be depth to it still. And there's probably ways you can expand on the combat with higher levels and skills and enhancements of abilities. It's not going to be like the shift, key input, all that style, but there's probably a lot of depth to it. You can be really good at it. You can be really good at Elden Ring as well, right? So I'm not mad about it. It's like Elden Ring with everyone. So exactly, like, yeah. And Elden Ring combat is good. So.
Okay, this is how this game works. It wants you, it actively encourages you to not just follow the main story, to not just be that cookie cutter MMO player. It wants you to go out and explore the systems of the game, and it will reward you for doing this. So the difficulty of the world is high, but don't feel like you have to get bogged down doing one thing, whether it be the main story, or you get discouraged by killing a mob or a boss in the open world. You can always go off and do something else, level up, get more power, craft more gear, come back to it, and fight again.
Again, the combat looks good, the movement looks good, the animations look good, and yeah, like I didn't know for like there was like just a hotkey combat because like until they said it, right, because it looks really good, and there will of course be different combos you can do with different abilities and all that, right?
And either way, I actually find the difficulty of the world very engaging in my opinion. Now let's talk a little bit about open world discovery, Easter eggs of the game, and this is what captivated me in the other MMOs that I played, whether it be World of Warcraft or Black Desert or even Guild Wars 2. The vastness of the world, how much there was to do
beautiful
in it, and how encouraged you were to go explore in it.
So we talked a bit previously about the minimap stuff. There's no minimap, so you have a compass up top basically to guide you, and then you can open the map. And right now when I'm watching this, I'm not even looking at the minimap. I'm just looking at the world, and it looks great. It looks immersive, and I'm kind of vibing with it. Now that like you see the gameplay and like especially the open world, I'm kind of feeling it. I'm kind of feeling it. Like less stuff on the UI and all, just like in the game. Okay, it feels pretty good.
A bad example, a bad MMO that does this is Throne of Liberty. Throne of Liberty does not encourage you to go discover aspects of the world, and certainly does not reward you enough for exploring those aspects of the world. An MMO that does this very well is Guild Wars 2. In Guild Wars 2, you're constantly encouraged to go discover new areas, try and participate in dynamic questing and events and various things, and you're always encouraged to try to go explore because the game rewards you for exploring. Chrono Odyssey is the pinnacle of this. If you are somebody that loves discovering the world, or you are a Legend of Zelda player and your entire purpose in life was to go around finding all the heart pieces or various aspects of those, this game is going to be, you're going to love this game. This is a perfect game for you, mainly because every single time I went out into the world, I was rewarded, whether I found an alchemy crate or a random chest somewhere, which honestly ended up being a mimic. Screw me. There are mimics in the world that will punish you a little bit, but you know what? You do get rewarded if you end up killing it, which is pretty cool. But you also get like extra bonus points to your class's skills and chrono detector abilities, just for
So not just like doing this stuff doesn't just give you like a crate with some new armor or whatever, like you get actually skill points and upgrades and all. That's dope. I like that. I like that. Also, apparently, like, you should give EXP as well doing this, right? So it's a viable way. It's something that you do and like, oh, okay, I leveled up as well.
Discovering things in the open world. I can't tell you how many times I just walked into something, stumbled on it. It's like, hey, what's this? Oh my gosh, I got another chronotector thing. Or hey, this is a new dungeon.
I think this is when I tried, I think it was Genshin Impact we tried. We had like a sponsorship for it, so I played it for a few hours. And I got completely lost in the source of just running around doing chests. Like constantly just finding shit, like, oh, okay, I gotta figure out this puzzle here. We did, oh, we got some great loot, like, awesome. I ended up doing that for like 45 minutes, like, oh, right, I should be doing something else as well. Great, like, let me get lost in the game.
Like a secret hidden dungeon that I can do. And then you get rewarded with some really cool loot and like best in slot gear at the end of it, at least for the closed beta anyway. And it was just so cool. Everywhere I went, I was like, what's that over there? I just found myself, guys, I was just trying to do the main story. Couldn't get it done. Could not get it done. Like it was.
Yes, dude. And that's like, let me give you guys a little advice when it comes to especially new games. Immerse yourself in this. Even if it's like a in-game or whatever, just take the time, immerse you into it. You will never get this experience again. Whenever you've gone through it and you're past it and all, then like stuff like this becomes, you just follow a guide or whatever, you speed run it, you min-max, you optimize. Like, you only get one shot of playing as a new player in a game, be it Chrono, be it BDO, whatever it is, right? Just take the time, explore the world. If you see something you want to do, just do it. You can never redo that stuff. So I'm going to treat this game, when we try it, as basically a single player RPG. And we're going to do like that full complete, we're going to try all the weird stuff we see. And however long it takes, however inefficient it is, doesn't matter. If I see something I want to do, we just do it.
There was too much going on in the world, and by the end of the 16 to 20 hours that I was able to play it, I think they gave us access for only 2 days, guys, so I got to play it for 16 to 20 hours or so of overall gameplay, and
That's pretty good.
Could not put it down for the time that I was able to play it. It was almost all in one session. I just couldn't put it down, and I was constantly exploring, so you will always feel that sense of discovery in the world constantly. The final thing I want to say is whenever you're gathering on something, even in a town, there's like these sacks and various things.
Small little detail. I like that animation. There is something about in BDO as well, the cheer animation. As annoying it can be cheering for something that's not right cheerable. Like you get that like little dopamine hit. It's flashy. It's the same reason whenever you open loot boxes in Counter-Strike or whatever, like you get this like boom opening. Like it's your brain loves it. The little like receptors and all that. Yeah, it's great. That look good.
That you can go
that
around and
look like there's something I want inside of it.
Interact with various things, and it will just give you consumables that are actually super good in PvP, super good in PvE, that will help you kill bosses and stuff. So like if you're somebody that like loves to have that niche knowledge of that one thing, it's like, oh yeah, I can get that. Like in World of Warcraft, we see this all the time, where it's like, oh yeah, I can totally go to that one area of the world and kill those mobs for like, you know, 3 hours to get this one consumable that I can then use later on in Nax so that I can do the raid. Like it's crazy. Okay, it's just like that, and I think that World of Warcraft players will like that very much. Okay, so now let's talk about life skilling. I did gathering, I did mining, I did logging, hoe gathering, cooking, alchemy, processing, crafting, all of it. Okay, it does not, and now what life skills does the game not have? It does not have boat content that I am aware of. Big sad right there. I love boat content, and there was no boat content that
I don't care about that. Like, I'm not an ocean person, so for me, it's complete. I know some people like being on the. I don't care. I don't care at all.
I can tell in the game. This doesn't mean that it's not going to be added at a later date, but
yeah,
no real reason to explore.
Unless I can be on a boat that somebody else is sailing, and we can ride around, we can shoot cannons at other boats, and I can board that boat, and I can kill people and steal their loot or something like that. Like, I don't care about it. But if I can go like full pirate mode and like play my character, I don't want to play a boat, I want to play my character. If I can board stuff or like whatever, right, great, I'm in, I like that. But it's, yeah, doesn't really happen, right?
The ocean or the water or anything like that, which is sad, but they could add that at a later date. That means no bartering. As far as I'm aware, there's no trading, there's no horse training as far as I'm aware either. You just
God damn it. That's the one thing I'm lucky with is horses. Oh well, oh well. At least there's no downgrading in upgrading this game, I guess. We might actually just not get screwed for once.
Kind of, there's a random quest in the world, like a side quest at a random place in the world that you have to do in order to unlock your first mount. And then you just have a mount, and that's really cool. And I recommend doing that. I'll have a YouTube short for it so that you guys can find it very quickly in the open beta in about a week or two. As far as the life skilling goes altogether, these are some of the best systems I've ever experienced in an MMO, guys. And again, I would say that New World, they're very similar to New World, but like upgraded. So if you're a New World player looking at this, or you like...
I think there's a lot of people that really like the life skill in New World, right? I remember that being a big talking point for people like, oh, but the life skill is great.
New World. It's like New World, but like with much better combat and more extensive gathering opportunities. But the crafting, the alchemy, the cooking, the processing, all of that is very reminiscent of the New World systems, just a little bit expanded on overall. Now, you will always want to be increasing your life skilling. If you're a RuneScape player, you're going to love this game. It is a grind. You're out there. And to be clear, I'm a biologist, guys, and this game is very biologically correct overall. If you're looking for flax, you're going to be able to find it in a place that flax normally grows. Like if you're looking for flax, you're going to be able to find it in a place that flax normally grows. Now, flax typically grows in temperate environments. It doesn't want too much water. Sugarcane, for example, though, wants a lot of water. You're going to find that a little bit closer to riverbeds and things like this. So you can biologically be able to kind of naturally ascertain where these things are going to be. But there's also silver and gold and platinum that you're going to have to run around and try to find, and resources you've never heard of before, like arc. And fire trees and things like this that you're going to be running around constantly trying to look for. And every time you find one of them, it is a little nugget. It is a lot of fun leveling up your life skills because you use all of these things. I used logging, hoe gathering, mining, and butchering, all of it, in order to craft like 2 or 3 pieces of gear. I needed everything. So I found myself going to the crafting menu being like, how do I find that? Oh, well, that would be on that plant. So I guess we're just going to go to this area.
That's one of the things that's fun as well. When you start and you have like a goal, okay, I want to make this. And then you start working on it and you realize, oh, so to get from here to here, I have to go over here. And then, so that allows me to practice over here, that gets me over here, that gets over here. And then I can make this for that. Like all these different things combining in, as long as it's intuitive, makes sense, and it's like something that you get worked into, great. I really like that. It can be a bit boring to me with like a life skill or like crafting, right? It's just like very linear. It don't need to be too expensive, right? Then it gets wild, but I like this where you get again lost in the game. You're lost, like if you're trying to build a boat in BDO, right? And you want to do it yourself. So just buying the mats, buying the boat, right? You go out, oh, and now I need to learn how to do workshops. Oh, so to get workshops, oh, I need to get some workers here. I need these materials. Oh, so now I need to do processing as well and make that. And oh, how do I get this material? Oh, I need to go out here. I like that.
Area of the world. Oh, there it is right there.
Especially when it's worth the time at the end result.
Let's go. And then we would go out and we would gather that resource for a while, and then it helped me craft better gear, and this was a lot of fun. But again, this kind of relates to
wait, fun in an MMO? Maybe don't play this game after all. I don't know how I feel about that one.
This is almost a one-to-one correlation with New World and how it's chosen to do its life skills, which is good because that is one thing that New World was very good at. Its life skills, where it's kind of just expanded on what New World already had, which is very good. Now let's talk about the PvE content of the game. Now, keep in mind, this was the closed beta, so this does not include necessarily everything that's going to be included when the game actually releases, but it was very polished to me. There were not as many, like, there were bugs and things like this, but overall the game was very playable, and I could invest into it. So there's a bounty system where you can pick up a bounty in a town to try to find a very specific mob that is named like an elite. If this was World of Warcraft Classic, these would be elite quests. Okay, these are basically elite quests. You're going to have to go out in the world, and to be clear, these should be very doable while you're in a party. I did not personally get to try doing these while I was in a party because there were only like 30 people with access to the beta. But I know that some of the other creators were walking around at least trying to help each other with these things, and then the open world bosses as well, which again, you can try to slay together. You can work together in small groups to try to kill the open world bosses. I'm not sure if there's a limit loot and things like this when it comes to the open world bosses that you will walk into, but I do know that you can kill those open world bosses solo, because I did it once about 10 minutes before the server went down. I went back to the boss that had farmed me the entire time in my closed beta. I was like, screw this. I had spent the whole time crafting, clearing dungeons, progressing my character, pushing really hard for 16 hours or so, only to come back to this boss and barely clear him right before the servers went down, which felt really good. And I did that solo. So anything that you can do in a group, for the most part, you can also do solo. But you can, again, that most of the group PvE content in this game is meant to be done either solo or in a small group of players, 5 to 6 players at most. Now, I don't know if that plan is to change in the future, but certainly what I saw was dungeons that can be entered with 1 to 3 people, bounties that can be done with, again, 1 to 3 people, and the open world bosses that you're going to look at, maybe 1 to 5 people might be able to hit those if you're low level in that area. Now, the bounties were a lot of fun and actually very difficult sometimes to find the bounty target. Like, I found myself wandering around for half an hour at a time just looking for.
So I hate that. Like, I don't want to just be wandering around looking for something. Like, that's not fun to me. But I mean, sure, like once you then find it, it's probably going to be like rinse repeat a lot of the times. Unless you're, again, so that could work where you're like walking around, you're looking for something and you find something else and you get caught up in that, right? So if that's how it ends up being, especially in the beginning while leveling up, sure, that could be fun. But like, dude, I hate trying to find stuff. Just like, yeah, like if I want to go somewhere, I want to do something, let me get there and do it, right?
For a bounty target in this small area, it's marked on the map where like the general area of this bounty target is, and then you have to like solve a puzzle sometimes and like uncover where they actually are in order to get to them. That was difficult and made the bounty actually pretty engaging and
okay, so that's a bit different. Like if there's like an actual like puzzle stuff you have, that's what I mean, like not just walking around aimlessly for half an hour trying to find the mob to kill. Nobody likes that. But if there's like sort of a gameplay in finding it, right, so going there, looking in the area, it's a puzzle. You need to find maybe the killer, and he's hiding somewhere, and then you solve where he is, and then you get to fight him. Right, that's cool. I'm totally down with that.
Fun to do these
it
days.
Also same
gold and a lot of EXP for.
I don't play video games to use my brain, right?
Doing them, and again, sometime, and then you can use that gold to help you craft better gear and repair your old gear and whatnot as well. Yeah, so the dungeons give you more access to your chronotector abilities and things like this, and then there's open world bosses that you're going to find as well that are just like hidden, and then there's hidden dungeons and whatnot in the world, and all of this PvE content always felt very fun and rewarding, mainly because I stumbled upon most of this stuff by just wandering.
I like those chests. They're hilarious.
Wandering around in the world and gathering. I would just like I would just take the plunge. I just kind of jump down, and I'm fairly certain I'm the only person that attempted to do this boss in this closed beta, because I'm probably one of the only ones that found it. I just jumped into the giant abyss on a whim, expecting it to kill me, and it ended up being like a hidden dungeon. That was cool. So discovering that dungeon was.
That's really cool. Okay. Yeah, like it just limits us, right? Mimics? Yeah, mimics. I love that, man. I love that.
Really cool.
And this is why, like, I'm so excited to play this game, at least for the leveling experience and all that. Just explore it. And then when you get to in-game, it's the in-game fun, whatever, like, we'll figure out at that point.
And that was most of my experience with the open world PvE content. There's also trials in the game as well, and these trials are something.
Yeah, I've heard that like Mario Kart is out for Nintendo Switch. It's not crazy. Like, who knew?
To attempt the trial, and you have a choice between 3 different doors every time, and there's 3 different trials. Now, I did every single door of every single trial.
This looks scary, like eerie scary.
But I can tell you they are all extremely unique attempts.
This is giving me like Game of Thrones up in the north with the zombie vibes. Love it. Oh my god, I love the feel of this game.
They are all extremely unique puzzles that you need to solve. Not every puzzle has one way that you can solve it. A lot like Legend of Zelda. In Legend of Zelda.
But can I hit it really hard with a sword and solve it that way? That's what I want to know.
Zelda, you see a lot of, especially with a lot of the modern Legend of Zelda games, that what people like so much about them is that there's multiple different ways that you can approach the various puzzles of the game. And it's very much like this in Chrono Odyssey as well. In the PvE content of Chrono Odyssey, you don't just have to brute force your way through everything. You don't necessarily have to kill the boss.
But I can do it, right? That's all I need to know. As long as I can just like strap on the helmet real tight and grip the sword and hold down W, listen, I'm in. As long as I can do that, I'm happy.
Every time, and there's certainly a lot of different ways that you could go about it if you are a clever adventurer. So really cool, especially if you uncover extra abilities in later questing. You can come back and try to approach something from a completely different perspective that no one's tried before. So again, the PvE content of the game was constantly engaging. I never found myself wanting for any sort of more PvE content at the time. And to be clear, they did kind of gate us to a relatively small aspect of the map. And I felt like even at the end of the 16 hours that I was able to get played in this closed beta, I'm
getting so excited. This is a great video. Thank you for recommending this one, Valk, to watch this first. Like, oh my god, like Blue is talking about so much of the stuff that's like I've been wondering about. I'm getting, yeah, it's Blue, it's Ball Squadron. I'm getting so excited about this because it's what I hoped it to be. Of course, I was hoping to have like proper action combat. I knew it's not going to be BDO combat, but like I'm not a big fan of like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I like the key input and stuff like that, but doesn't mean it's not fun, right? And the entire game that he's talking about, how you play the game, what you do in the game, the dream, yeah. That's what I wanted it to be.
Not able to explore everything that the map had to offer. Like there was still always more for me to be able to do basically around the world. I did get to explore each of the systems at least somewhat, but there was just always going to be more Easter eggs, more things to discover, more areas to explore, etc. More bosses to uncover as well and kill. Like that, there was just always more to do for PvE. So not much but good things to say other than that the PvE content is challenging, guys. Just bear in mind, this is not for the faint of heart. And so it's going to encourage you to group up with other people and try it. One final note on the dungeons. Some of the dungeons, like the hidden dungeons in the open world, are solo. And again, those are like the hidden ones. And then some of them are party dungeons that you will find out in the world. So there are different types of dungeons. And I don't think the trials are able to be done in a party either. You must do those solos as well. Now let's talk about PvP content.
Spiders.
They had most of the PvP content disabled, so they didn't have a lot of the small scale stuff that they were.
I think that's what we're going to be playing this weekend, right? A lot of that is going to be in for this test.
Had been kind of teasing with us in the game, but they did have the open world PvP content in a. So I can't.
Oh, he said PvP. I don't think that's PvP. It's like PvE stuff, right? Open world PvP, huh?
Talk about a little bit how that system works. A lot like New World, this system requires you to flag for PvP mode in town. Now, this is a closed beta, so they didn't have any rewards for flagging for PvP in town, but they did mention that they're looking at giving some very steep rewards, potentially for flagging for PvP or being PvP enabled at all points in time. But if you're PvE enabled, as far as I'm aware, you cannot be PvP'd in the game. But if you have PvP on, you must flag for PvP in a town. And if you have PvP on, there is no punishment for killing you in PvP.
So I do think this is going to work pretty well. It's as I like, again, being able to flag up in BDO, the open world, the danger of that. It's obviously been scaled back a lot over the years, especially with the one-sided war deck and all, but you can still flag, but it's super punishable. I think it's a better long-term strategy for a game to make it so people want to opt in for PvP. And again, most of the times give players the option, they will choose the path of least resistance. Most people won't like enable it, they'll just go out and do their own thing. But like people then that want to go out into the world, get some advantage and flag up and be active for PvP, I think that's great. It's probably the best functional way of doing it in modern gaming, right? Otherwise you get these PvP games that lives off cannibalizing its own player base, and you basically get stronger by keeping others weaker, right? You grieve them, you stop them from progressing, you kill the weaker players, so you hold them back while you can progress, right? You gatekeep people out of bosses and things like that. And it's a lot of fun, but it's also a surefire way of cannibalizing your own player base. So a system like this is probably the best way of functionally adding open world PvP to a game, an MMO in modern gaming, right?
No punishment for killing other players in PvP. I was flagged for PvP most of the time because there was only like 40 people walking around in the world at any given point in time, and there were times where people came to try to kill me, which was pretty fun because I slaughtered them every time. It was a lot of fun, and again, the
top 5 PvPer, right there, confirmed.
Combat feels really engaging. It's not like New World where somebody could just run away from you the whole time. There are gap closing abilities. I can pull people, especially as a berserker. I felt I could pull people in. They couldn't just necessarily kite me the entire time, although nice. That is what a ranger is going to try to do to you if you're a berserker. But if you're...
What is that thing? He weren't kidding when he was talking about the character creator being... What is that thing? They got Gabarl in the game. Nah.
Solid. You can use the terrain to your advantage. You can try to use your movement speed buffs and your
actual full monkey build. Let's go, Gabo. You can play as yourself.
Your self buffs, and then again pulls and various CC abilities to your advantage to try to engage in
that's beautiful
PvP, which has been a lot of fun. I can absolutely see this. As far as the guild stuff goes, it was very primitive.
That's so good.
So I didn't see any way to declare war on another guild. But again, they said that they had deliberately disabled a lot of that content because, well, there's just not enough people to do GVGs in a closed beta session like this. So I'm hoping that when the game actually does come out, you absolutely should have like this. It's all set up in a way that you should have war versus war decks against various guilds in the game, and then you should be rewarded.
Oscar win, bro. That's crazy. I literally didn't think they were gonna have that in it. It didn't sound like they were going to do that at the dev talk.
For being able to kill other adventurers. But if you don't want to participate in PvP, you should be able to just turn on the PvE mode and kind of avoid it altogether. Now, I was also told that they're trying to step away from a massively large-scale PvP. So if you're a Throne and Liberty fan, I've got some bad news for you. It was very unlikely.
I think it's better. I know it feels cool. It feels epic, but it's a freaking Zork. And it just, yeah. If you have a sort of limit on the players, sure, every player is more impactful, right? But there's also a higher chance of being able to, say, get 3 people than it is to get 15 people. So maybe you can get 10 people, the other guys got 15, now you just lost, right? Now you're just getting Zorked. So, I think it's more healthy. As much as I enjoy large-scale PvP, Node Wars and Sieges and BDO, it's just, there's so much problems with it, and yeah. I would rather the game just be good, be functional, and then maybe down the road add those kind of things if it makes sense, which it probably won't in this game.
Likely that you will see massive massive PvP aside from big open world GVGs, which are very possible. I think that the development...
I mean, if you can do full guild versus guilds, that's still sick, right? That's super cool. Like, somebody's out there messing with you, and you can still, like, actually get a war deck in, and you can get all the boys out and have some giga scraps. If that's also an option in the game, but not like a focused game mode, super cool.
Developers are trying to keep it under about 40 players in a given match. Now, there are 100 members allowed per guild, which is pretty large overall, but I think that the game can absolutely handle it. That does not mean that we're not going to see 25 to 40 man content in PvP. They have not confirmed anything like that, but they have certainly alluded to content like that being involved in the game, and then GVG content being a large part of their open world PvP experience as well. And I certainly, again, when I engaged in the PvP, it did not feel clunky. It didn't feel helpless as a melee character. It felt like I could actually engage and fight somebody, even though, again, both of us were relatively new to PvP in Chrono Odyssey. We were all using our abilities and trying to engage to the best of our ability. And I'm very excited for it because the combat is some very top grade stuff when it comes to MMOs overall. All right, so that's like the TLDR of the various systems of the game. Of course, it will be timestamped. Guys, remember to like and subscribe on the video. It does help tremendously.
Do it here. Guys, give it a like, give it a subscribe, share it with your friends, show it to your mom, and you can do the same to this one right here. Yep, look at that big, beautiful head. What a perfect timing on the pause.
In the algorithm to go ahead and like the video for me, and then you can subscribe because I'm going to be going into each of these systems in more depth live on my Twitch channel. If you are watching this on YouTube, there's a good chance that I'm already live talking about the game, showing my gameplay from the game, or if you're watching this in the future, these videos are already out.
On Knowing Blue, he's watching my 2.5-hour react video to his half-an-hour video, so he can make a 6-hour react video reacting to my reactions to his stuff. Perfect.
You can see these on my channel, so we're going to be making a lot of Chrono Odyssey content. Guys, my thoughts on the game. This is the next big MMO. This is the game.
I think he's right on this. I think, again, this era, I think this, from what I've seen and everything, because it's not trying to be another game, it's really trying to like be its own. It takes elements from other games, but yeah, I don't feel like it's trying to be something else. And I think from what I've seen here, that this will be a next big thing as well. I think this one is the one that sticks around.
A lot of people have been waiting for. The graphics look absolutely stellar. The main storyline is gripping. The NPCs could use a little work. Like I said, there's tidbits here and there where the game can absolutely improve on. But guys, I mean it when I say, if you're a life skiller, you're going to love this game. If you love the Dark Souls franchise, you're going to love this game. If you love PvE content and MMOs in general, you are going to love this game. This is your next big game that you will be investing into, and you're going to have a lot of fun with. I know, because if you watch my content and you like any of the games that I like so far, you're going to love this, guys. It's going to be really good.
My big concern, like obviously, like now I got a lot of questions answered in terms of like the gameplay and all that, and the combat, how it feels. I feel a lot more positive now going into this weekend here to try out the closed beta. The big thing, right, would be how is it when you get to endgame? At what rate, like once you've done all these things, once you've done the journey, you've done like all the leveling up, you've done these like bosses for the first time and get to endgame, how much is there at endgame? And how is the gameplay loop? That is what's gonna like determine if it's a like game that thrives or not long term. Is once you get to it. It was the same thing that sort of happened with New World, right? New World, a lot of people loved that game. It was like, oh, it's so good, it's so great, when they were in the leveling experience. But then you got to endgame and it was empty. There was nothing there. And it realized, oh wait, the game isn't actually good. So I hope there is a lot of content and they have a plan for renewed content. If the main content of this game is going to be like bosses and stuff like that, you're gonna run into an issue of how fast you can get it out, or if you're going to go in like seasons. So you play the game for a month or two, and then you wait 4 months, 6 months for the next, and then you play for a month or two again, right? So that's a big thing that I'm curious about now, and how that's going to be. But we won't know until it's out, right?
Good. It's going to be really good. I'm going to be talking all about it on my Twitch channel. I give the game an absolutely stellar rating. I'm going to be making a crazy amount of content for it. I cannot wait to play more of it. I was constantly hungry for more when I got like the, 36 or 48 hours of access that they gave us here. And I just couldn't get enough. And I know that you guys won't be able to get enough either. So make sure you guys sign up for the closed beta. Again, this is not a sponsored video. This is not paid at all. I am just
Then what all those ads we've been watching? You're not getting paid by those YouTube revenue.
giving my honest thoughts about the game. But yeah, guys, remember to like, comment, subscribe. I'll catch you in the next video. I'm very excited for Chrono Odyssey.
Hell yeah, dude. Same. But yeah, like I want to play this game now. I really want to play it because, yeah, like one thing is what other people say. Like I have my own opinions about stuff, but like I'm getting so excited to try it out. I won't say that I'm excited about like the game yet, because we've been here a million times with other games. Oh, they look great, and you hear this and that, but like actually playing it, like for reals, we get to stream it, right? We can do this in real time. That's gonna be the test, and if it's fun, it's awesome. Then I will start getting excited for the actual game coming out. But yeah, this is looking better and better. it's one of those games that's turning out like you see more and more, and it actually sounds better and better. But I'm curious what you guys think. I'll see you all in the next one.